Hello and welcome to the Process of Motherhood podcast. My name is Danielle Foster and I am a clinical naturopath and an energetics therapist. And today I want to talk to you about how mouth breathing could be a contributing factor to your exhaustion, brain fog, and your mum rage. Okay, it's something that has come across my brain multiple times recently. Um, I got approached. First off, I'll say that I've been using mouth tape and nose strips for a while now. I attempted them a couple of years back. I found I got a lot of anxiety about putting the mouth tape on. And so I kept with the nose strips and I love them, but the mouth tape I really struggled with. I was approached again by a local business that was looking to find a partnership for promotion. And I hadn't used their products before. So I was like, sure, I'll give it a go. So I bought some packs. Here they are. If you are on my video, you can see the mouth tape that I have here and the nose strips. I got the unscented ones and I selected the mouth tape with the slit, which is the same as the type that I had before was a mouth tape with a slit. But I thought I'm just going to give it a go again. And the reason why I was like, this is important for me now is because recently, like I had been sick and then my husband was really struggling with my snoring to the point where he went out and slept on the couch, and that was like mortifying for me because I don't want to be the cause for him to be so dead tired the next day. I work really hard to make sure that my family are healthy and well, and to know that it was because of my snoring. I can hear my dog snoring in the background now if you hear that. But if it was because of me, I'm like, I need to do something about this. I thought that I had been sleeping really well. I use the Aura Ring to track my sleep, and I get pretty good sleep scores. I get good deep sleep scores and things like that. But this was becoming increasingly curious for me because I wanted to delve deeper into this because I'm like, okay, I'm snoring. That's not okay. I want to know, like, is it just because I've been sick? What's happening? It's getting worse, obviously, when I'm sick, but before that, I would be a slight snorer. Was termed a cute snorer, which I was okay with, but I don't want to be a snorer. I wanted to know, am I mouth breathing? Because I know from my clinical experience that that's not going to be optimizing my health. And I want to be able to be optimizing my health across the board. So I don't think that this is the answer for everything. I don't think everybody has to mouth tape. I'm not an airway specialist. I just want to put that out there, but I just want to share with you my exploration of this topic and what I have uncovered. So, yeah, I definitely not presenting myself as an expert here. I'm just sharing an area of health that I've been increasingly curious about because I keep seeing exhausted mums who have never been asked how they breathe. And I had this personal experience that woke me up to it as well. So, I am a mum. My eldest is now 13, but we had a lot of sleep struggles in the early years, and I didn't sleep very well for a long time. Years of night waking, co-sleeping. We've only just sort of recently stopped co-sleeping with my now 8-year-old. So we are there. Now I'm at the point where I'm finally sleeping through. I'm not getting kicked in the night, all of these different things. So I'm like, things should be working out. Things should be getting better from here. But do notice that I still wake up with a dry mouth and a sore throat, and it's been reported about my snoring, as I was telling you. Um, Waking tired is a sometimes thing, and mostly these days I am pretty good. So that's all improving. Um, but yeah, like I said, my sleep scores are really good. My husband said I was snoring, but he said I didn't have any sleep apnea symptoms. Like I wasn't gasping or choking or doing anything like that drastic. It was just the snoring. And I was like, I have to solve this problem because I want to optimize this. I want to actually feel like I'm recovered when I wake up. That's the report that I get from a lot of mums. That are really struggling with fatigue is that they wake up feeling like they haven't slept at all, even if they've gone to bed early with their kids, and they've had like 8 hours plus of sleep, sometimes heaps more. They wake up still feeling really groggy, really like sometimes hungover has been reported, even though they don't drink, these different things. And I'm like, okay, so the quality of the sleep is what we need to investigate here. So, the standard question is how many hours of sleep did you get last night? And asking like, well, how many times did you wake up? Those different things. But, you know, the other questions that I want to ask is, do you wake with a dry mouth or a sore throat? Um, do you snore, or has your partner reported that you're snoring? Do you have a post-nasal drip? When you wake up and you feel that phlegm running down the back of your throat. These are indications of a congestion. Um, yeah, what's your rating out of 10 of your energy when you wake up? Have you had a history of allergies or tonsillitis? Do you get stuck in like a brain fog, irritability throughout your day? All of these things can be related to lots of different stuff, but just looking at the full picture together is important to me. And I ask about childhood illnesses as well. Um, Asthma, eczema, chronic congestion, all of these different things. It all is linked up. Um, so individually, these symptoms don't seem to be particularly important, but when we put them together, they're telling me a story. Okay. So what happens with nose breathing is really physiologically important for our optimization of our brain, our thinking body. And I think this is where we find that connection to being able to be present, our connection to being in our body, aware of the environment, of energy, of nature, being really one with the universe, that type of, maybe it's woo-woo thinking, but this is where I am. Like, we need to find more connection. And if we're just in a survival mode, we're mouth breathing, we're not getting that transference of the air coming through and getting that chemical reaction in our nose and our body that is activating that energetic system as well. That's my theory on it. So when you breathe through your nose, the nose is your nostrils. It's warming the air. It's filtering the air. It's humidifying that air. And it is creating nitric oxide. Okay. And this is what our body needs to feel alive and optimized and energized. And this is where breath work has had a really big moment, because it is being realized that you can activate your conscious body using your breath, using nose breathing, long exhales and moving that air through your nose in quite a fast transition becomes orgasmic in a way. Okay, if you want to read more about this, you can have a look at James Nestor's book Breathe. So your nose is an organ all unto itself, and it has an important job to do with activating the breath that comes into your body. We talk about this when I do meditative journeys, is allowing that breath that comes into your body to activate you, to open you up and allow you to be a vessel of receiving. So that is an important chemistry that goes along with that, is that it's actually got a job to do. So this is something that was making me think that a lot of our we might be able to breathe through our nose consciously throughout the day. Like now, I can breathe through my nose without any congestion, without any problem. And if I'm consciously breathing, if I'm in a meditative state, then I can breathe through my nose with ease. I can be in control and slow that down. I'm conscious, I'm awake. But when we're asleep, we're in an unconscious state, we will adapt back to our most innate state. So when is our most innate state formed? So often it is formed throughout childhood. Okay, so if you've had childhood illnesses, allergies, recurrent tonsillitis, enlarged tonsils, chronic congestion, celiac disease, obesity, inflammation in your formative years, or throughout like a long period of your adulthood even, you have adapted to that mouth breathing to keep you alive. If that's become easier for you, your body's going to revert back to survival. Yes, it needs to breathe. It's not going to optimize it and be like, oh, who cares about optimization right now? I am going to just get some air into this body. and it's not optimizing us. And so adaptions are great, but they're great at helping us survive. But for long-term usage, they're not helping us to thrive. These adaptions can stay long after that original problem has passed. So if you have resolved those childhood illnesses, if you've got a handle on your allergies, if you are now managing your celiac disease, or you've lost a lot of weight, and you've healed through your inflammation. This is something that I noticed, is that I have picked up these habits because I had long undiagnosed celiac disease, which I believe led to recurrent tonsillitis, and that was enlarged tonsils and swelling and pain and things like that, that I know that I mouth breathed as a child. And um, it's sort of like chicken and the egg for obesity and inflammation. Did it come from that, or was that part of it as well? All of that was a story that built from there. And then you go through the healing when you're moving into yourself and you're finding your healing path, and you start to heal that inflammation, you lose weight, you manage all of these chronic illnesses, but you still got those adaptive habits that have kept you going. So you've still got this habit formed that you are a mouth breather when you are in that unconscious sleep state and you're not thinking about it. It's just the way that you've formed. So even if you've cleaned up your diet, you've lost weight, you've reduced that inflammation, you've improved your health, you might still be snoring, you might still be mouth breathing, and therefore you're still waking up tired. So yeah, are we consciously optimizing our food, our movement? We're having supplements, we're doing nervous system work, all when we're conscious, we're awake, we're making this part of our daily life and our daily habits and our daily identity of who we are. But in our unconscious state, we are still reverting back to who we were in our unhealed version of self. What habits are we still running when you're no longer consciously directing them? When you're asleep, what is your body reverting back to? So it's yeah, really an interesting thing to sit with. This is what I'm sitting with and exploring at the moment, is how do we help our body to shift these habits? So I've been looking into facial development and airway health. Like I mentioned, James Nestor, looking at podcasts from airway dentists. And this is really important through childhood, because the sooner we get onto this, the better. So if you've got mouth breathing children, then I'd be looking at airway dentists and things as well. There's a lot to talk about tongue posture and where your tongue naturally rests in your mouth when you're not paying attention to it. So thinking about that, thinking about the size of your palates, your jaw development, how crowded your teeth are. Your face is following this function. So your face does change depending on how you're breathing. And I find that so fascinating, that the way that your face grows and your jaw forms, and the way that it builds your facial structure and how you look is all dependent on the way you breathe. So just changing from a mouth breather at night to being able to breathe through your nose is going to restructure your jawline. The way that we breathe can influence how our jaws and our facial structures develop over time. So this is really important to pay attention to with our children. So I know I've been sharing photos of me with mouth tape on my socials, and you got the line like, "Oh, that's really cute panty liner stuck on your face there." But I don't care. Like, lean into the cringe of, you might look like an idiot. I'm using these mouth tapes to help me reform this habit, to help me know that it's safe to keep my mouth shut while I'm asleep, and in that unconscious state, train my body to feel safe to breathe through my nose. And I can do that because I'm not chronically congested at the moment. If you're chronically congested, if you can't actually breathe through your nose when you're in a conscious state, then don't put mouth tape on, please. But if you are in a state where you're wanting to retrain that habit and teach your body that it is safe to breathe through its nose when you are asleep, just pop this tape on. And the reason why, like, I've shifted over to these tapes You can see that I'm promoting them on my socials. This Schleppy. It's what I'm using at the moment. And I love this mouth tape because, like I said before, when I first tried the mouth tapes a few years ago, I got a bit of anxiety. And I got a bit of anxiety because I felt like I couldn't move my mouth and I couldn't open. I could struggle to talk. And I had a bit of like shortness of breath, thinking, oh my God, am I going to be able to do this? Even though I could breathe through my nose quite easily. But when I put these ones on, they were very soft and they were very stretchy, and I was able to still talk to my kids, to say goodnight to everybody, and I felt like I could still breathe through my mouth if I wanted to. And so I found that that was a easy way to do it. So just lean into the cringe. You can laugh at it, whatever. I don't care. It's just something to do, a little tool that you can use to help to train your body. So it's not a cure, but it is something that can teach you to keep that mouth closed. And because when you're asleep, you're not conscious to it. Like I was saying, it becomes that unconscious habit. So if you're waking with a dry mouth, if you're snoring, if you've got some mild congestion, the nose strips can be really supportive to open up those airways. If you're in recovery after illnesses, these different things that can be really helpful. So the mouth tape's not treating the root cause of it. You would still probably need to look at things like your immune health, your congestion health, looking to see if you have any allergy issues, those different things that could be leading into this. Things like blood sugar levels, all of this sort of thing will influence you. It's all connected. But having a look at the root cause is important. But this is a great tool that you could use if you are wanting to train your body to feel safe to breathe through your nose in sleep. And yeah, so if you try to think about mouth tape, is it for me? Is it not for me? Don't use it if you've got that severe congestion, if you can't breathe through your nose, maybe you've got a deviated septum, the mouth tape would not be for you, but you could still try the nose strips. If you've got untreated sleep apnea, don't use the mouth tape, but you could still use the nose strips. And if breathing through your nose is difficult, that's really valuable information. And we can do a lot more with that. We can look at some herbs, we can look at some nose sprays and things like that that's going to focus on clearing that pathway for you. So if you're struggling with fatigue, food cravings like 3 p.m. chocolates, coffees, brain fog, you can't think straight, getting lost or confused or forgetting things. You're getting irritable, you're snapping at people, you're snapping at the kids, getting a bit of mum rage or irritability, or feeling that itchiness under your skin. And if you're sleeping poorly, they're probably not all separate issues. It's probably all different expressions of the same exhausted, under-recovered, undernourished systems asking for some support. So all of these symptoms are really rarely random. They're your body's way of drawing your attention to the patterns that haven't been fully understood yet. And like we're saying, these patterns can be forming since childhood, okay? Or big things that have happened, stresses, big moments in your life that your body has adapted to survive. So it's about working backwards and seeing where we can help your body to shift into states of safety, states of optimization. Okay, so it's because I've become increasingly curious about all these small little unconscious habits that may be quietly influencing how we feel every single day. We can lean into curiosity, lean into observations, and you're welcome to invite that support in. So if you want to lean into this with me, I invite you to book a free connection call and we can delve into this together. Something that I do offer for mums that have this type of expression is my maternal capacity reset, which is a package that supports you through your first stage of healing. It sets you up with the foundations. In that, we've got some basic pathology included for private pathology care, as well as your own custom herbal and custom flower essence that works with the emotional aspects as well. So that's where we get to the root cause of what's really going on, delving into your stories with a full 90-minute initial consult that gets all of the backstory, all of the symptoms and symptoms. And then you've got 2 follow-ups that keep you on track. Okay, so if you are interested in doing that, please reach out to you. You can reach out to me on Instagram at Danielle Foster Naturopathy. or send me an email at dania@daniafoster.com. Okay, but I'm here to support you. So if you have any questions or if this has prompted some curiosity within you, then I invite you to delve into it with me. All right, you take care. Lots of love.